Okay, it's beer o'clock on Real Ale Craft Beer. I'm joined by Mr. Ian Hornsey. How you doing, Ian?
Nice to meet you.
Yeah. This is an interview with Ian. I wanted to talk about your history in brewing, the fact that you brought out the UK's first porter in a long time.
Right.
And your general kind of what you're doing at the moment. I know you're a book writer, and you do all sorts of different things. You're a judge at the World Beer Cup in America. So where did your journey with beer start?
Well, it probably started when I was about 7, but we won't talk about that. I've always been interested in old English beer, basically, the old sort of stuff we used to have in the 1950s and 60s.
Yeah.
I started life as an academic. I wanted to be a footballer. I nearly became a professional footballer, but not quite. So I went into academic life and lectured in Cambridge for 15 years, but always interested in beer, and got involved in the early days of our campaign for beer ale, which you know all about, and which has helped to foster what we call proper beer, cask conditioned beer in the UK. And I spent 15 years lecturing, wonderful life, and decided that I really wanted to find out what the real world was about. And this was about the very early 80s.
Okay.
And the microbrewing scene in the UK just about started in the late 70s.
Yeah.
There were lots of brewery takeovers.
Yeah.
And huge breweries buying smaller ones, scrapping the brewery and keeping their estates purely for pub purposes.
Okay.
So there were lots and lots of redundant brewers around at that point in time.
Right.
And a lot of them started micro-breweries.
Okay.
Very brave people.
Yeah.
To me, the most important one, whatever anyone else says, is a chap called Bill Urquhart, who worked at Northampton, which became part of Watney's.
Yeah.
And he was one of the first to get the boot when Watney's took over, and he started Richborough Brewery in about 1978.
Right.
And he was the father of the micro-brewing revolution in the UK.
Yeah.
So that several breweries started. I decided in '85 that I had a great time at Cambridge, wanted to see do different things, and I started Nethergate Brewery at that time.
Nethergate Brewery, if you could just lift that. There we go. Nethergate Brewery. There we go. And tell me a little bit. First of all, let's get a beer out. Shall we? Let's wet the whistle.
Yeah, why didn't you say it before?
Let's get this beer. We are in Poland. We've been judging at a beer festival all day in just outside Krakow in Żywiec. This is Brackie Imperial IPA, Grand Champion at Beer Affilio, where we judged 2013, judging now in 2014. Let's get it open. I believe it's owned by the Heineken Group?
Yeah, the Żywiec Group is owned by the Heineken Group, which is an interesting story in itself.
So what are they doing brewing double IPAs?
Well,
I think it's 8.5 or 9.5% ABV. What are Heineken doing? What's the thinking behind this?
We don't normally associate, this sort of beer with Heineken, but they've been very, very liberally minded for some time, and they've actually kept going in a little town called Szczecin, which is on the Czech Republic border. It's one of the only breweries in Europe where they have actually open, not in mainland Europe, that have open fermentation vessels.
Right.
And it's what I call Heineken's little gem.
Yeah,
And it really is. But they've kept it going, and it's been for some time, last I don't know how many years, actually 15 years, the home of the Polish homebrewers.
Right, that's so true, yeah.
And they've actually fostered them, they've encouraged them, which is super.
Yeah, absolutely super.
Thanks to that, there's now a micro-brewing scene in Poland.
Right.
Which I went through, of course, all those years ago in the late 80s, and it's now, I'm seeing it again happening here, which is wonderful.
Absolutely wonderful. And the excitement today, wasn't it? The excitement was brilliant.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I've been judging here since 2008, and I've seen it, and Andreas, who I think you've met and on the
Yeah.
programme. He's rather like me. He's seen this thing grow from virtually nothing, literally home brewing, to what is now becoming a very small sector of the brewing industry in Poland. It's fantastic.
Fantastic.
And
Fantastic.
they have now this is all the horrible things that happened in Poland. They've now rediscovered their brewing identity,
Yeah.
which they thought they'd lost.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah, which
of
is
course,
brilliant.
In communist times, everything was state-owned. There weren't any private breweries.
Yeah. So they
And that's
come
what I
in.
find most exciting.
So they brew the. Let me just dive over here. They brew the porter.
Well, you know about Zivic's Porter.
Xavier's porter's left in.
Fantastic bit, and that's brewed at Sheffield.
Yeah.
At the Brackie Brewery.
Sheshin. It's 6 months left in the vessels, and it's just left to kind
It's heaven.
It's absolute heaven. What do we find with this beer? We're going to go back to Nethergate Porter in a second. We're just going to quickly dive into this Brackie
Well, this
Imperial.
is one I haven't tried before, I must admit.
Wow.
It's one of their new, well, beautiful nose.
Powerful. We have Magnum, Zeus, Simcoe, Citra, Centennial,
American
Amaretto, loads of American
American
hops. Yeah. Slightly hazy, one finger head. Let's just dive in.
No, that's beautiful.
And for a Heineken beer, that is lovely, it's fruity, it's balanced. We've just reviewed another IPA, very, very harsh. This one's not as harsh. It's not as in-your-face brash.
Well, I didn't try the other
Yeah.
one, Simon, but this is quite subtle for me, or far more subtle than a lot of American-style IPAs I've tried, to be honest. Some of which I found undrinkable.
Yeah, absolutely.
This one is drinkable.
Very drinkable. Right, we've got beers. Let's go back to the story of Nethergate Porter. The reason, what did you go into history and look and think, right, okay, I want to brew a porter?
Well, an uncle of mine, his family, one of his forefathers, worked at Taylor Walker's brewery in London,
Yeah.
or what became Taylor Walker's, and he managed to get a recipe dated around about 1750, 1760, which was described as a porter. At least it led to the style of porter. And I got hold of this, he lent it to me, and I brewed it as a Christmas special at Nethergate.
Okay.
Because we only brewed one beer at that time, this
Right.
is 1986, we started
Yeah.
in 85, this is 86. And we called it Christmas Cracker, which is an awful name, but no one could think of anything better.
Yeah, yeah.
It was so successful, it sold out before Christmas. I brewed it again and again. After Christmas, you have to stop. If you call it Christmas Cracker, you have to stop. I got so many requests, genuine requests to brew it again, that we launched it the following year, in sort of 87, as our second beer.
Fantastic.
Old Growler.
Right.
And I had a box of those at the time.
Right, okay, yeah.
And well, blah blah
That's
blah.
really,
The rest is
it's
history.
a nice name for the beer. Old Growler, old style beer, good porter. I really, that's going to be one of my next goals when we get back to the UK. I want to try Old Growler by the Nethergate Brewery. That's one of the beers I'm going to go and search for when I get back to the UK.
Well, you can be sure I'll look after you when you come down.
Yeah, oh, that'd be
Well, I'm not
smashing.
involved now. I you know.
Yeah.
I'll look after you.
So you then you moved on from the brewery. You decided to write books.
Yeah, I retired, and I, you know, rather than spend all day in pubs,
Yeah.
I thought I'd do something, so I started writing.
Okay, and now plug a couple of your books. What have you written?
Well, my first book was called Simply Brewing, which went quite well, and then I wrote a history, not the history,
Yeah. Okay.
a history of beer and brewing.
Fantastic.
But things have evolved a bit, and my most successful book is the role of alcohol in the civilization of mankind, which is quite sort of esoteric, but there is a direct link between man stopping being a wandering organism to being a sedentary organism, i.e. farming, settling down,
I know.
and production of beer. And there's an argument to say that the reason he did settle down was to grow enough barley or wheat or whatever, rye, which you mentioned, to do just that.
Brilliant.
If you're foraging, you have to go all over the place to find your forage.
To forage,
but man stopped doing that, and hence cities, London, and that's when Cardiff, Barry
Island, and then kind of brewing come along from there. One more thing before I won't keep you too long now, but one more thing I want to talk to you about is you judge a lot in the United States as well. You're a well-known judge, right?
Right. Yeah, I judge all over the place, basically. Yeah.
Fantastic. Okay. Cheers, Ian.
Great to meet you.
Bottom up. Many thanks for having Ian Hornsey on the channel. Yeah, brilliant. Put your comments in the comments box. Please check out Ian's books. Cheers.